Welcome. Thank you for being here. This is a great, I've said this week at a number of sessions I've introduced, well, this is one of my favorite sessions every year. But I am sincere when I say this is one of my favorite sessions every year, the Ideas and Innovators session. What is going to happen here? First of all, before I describe this, a quick show of hands. Who's familiar with the Ignite presentation format? Ignite. Who's seen it? A few people? Wow. Okay, guys. 90% of this room either is too tired to raise their hands or has heard of the Ignite format. So let me spell it out for you really quickly. In this session, 10 industry thought leaders will present in the Ignite format. It's a prescribed format which consists of 20 PowerPoint slides that auto-advance every 15 seconds. The speaker doesn't advance his or her own slides, they advance automatically. 20 slides, 15 seconds for a total of a 5-minute talk for each speaker. Auto-advancing slides show no mercy. This is probably the toughest presentation format I'm aware of, and it's a challenge for the speakers, but I'm confident that the group we've assembled today can take that on. They'll be talking about all things talent management, technology, innovation, maybe their pets, I don't know. The other fun thing about the Ideas and Innovators session is we really want the speakers to help share a little bit of what their personality, what they're interested in, and we learn a little bit about them too. So this is a really, really fun session. And how it'll work once we get started, once I'm done talking here, is we'll introduce the first speaker. Ben will be our first speaker. When he gives me the thumbs up, I will click to Ben's first slide, and he'll be on his way. And we'll just go through his deck, 15 seconds at a time, and we'll go so on, so on, so on down the line. So that's it. Fun, fast-paced, interesting, innovative. I hope you'll enjoy it. Next up, please welcome Marcus Mossberger. Marcus, come on up.
Good morning. I'm ready. All right, I am here to talk to you about the dawn of the digital manager. How many of you in the audience are managers today, by a show of hands? Okay, so quite a few of you. So your life is about to get really different in the next couple of years. The reason that I say that, I attended a Gartner conference a couple of years ago, and one of the predictions that they made was that by the year 2018, that's this year, right? We would have 3 million people supervised by a robo-boss. Okay? So if you think about, what does a boss do? What does a manager do? A lot of compliance-related stuff, right? They're going to approve your time cards. They're probably going to approve your expense report. I can't imagine the expense reports after a conference like this. Looking at the receipt, wow, what is Tao and how many drinks did you have? But a lot of that work is administrative and transactional in nature. It's very manual. Accenture said that 54% of your time is spent on this stuff. We are on the verge of change. You heard Josh Burson talk about productivity is stalled. You heard Mike Rowe talk about 6.6 million jobs open. I heard another speaker say 70% of your people aren't engaged, right? So we have to make a change. So what if you as a manager could actually spend all of your time focused on the experience of your people instead of this administrative transactional stuff related to compliance and control and constraint? The good news is those 400 plus HR technology vendors can track all of that stuff for you, so you don't have to. They can literally track anything and everything related to the people in your organization. So when you think about that, that means we can actually automate supervision. How many people can you realistically supervise? 15? These systems can actually supervise 15,000 people by looking at exceptions and saying, hey, you know what, you forgot to clock in. And then the technology can reach out to the individual employed to tell them that, and they can interact with the technology. We already talked about chatbots, right? So you as the manager, you don't have to lift a finger, right? So, and this isn't rocket science, this is happening now. Think about fields like healthcare and the airplane that you took to get here. These systems can listen and think and compare and then alert you as a manager to something that you actually need to pay attention to. So what does this mean? I would argue this completely changes the nature of what a manager does in an organization, right? We no longer have to focus on compliance and control and constraint, right? So similar to Ben, you talked about what makes a great manager. I want you to think about the best manager that you've ever had. You have them in your head? You need some more time? Okay. So the best manager I ever had, he took the time to understand me. And I'm a little bit like a millennial. I like regular feedback, right? I also like independence and autonomy. So I think time is the most valuable commodity on the planet, and we're going to have more of it. That's the good news I have for you. And by the way, your jobs aren't going away, right? We will always need managers. It's just we can actually focus our time and attention on our people and let the technology augment the decisions we make for and about our people. We hear a lot about STEM. Here's the new STEM. You need good social skills. You need to be able to create high-performing teams. You need to show genuine empathy. And you need to look for opportunities to serve as a mentor, right? So for those of us who are liberal arts majors, we're actually well prepared. I'm going to call my mom right after this show and say, my degree in psychology is finally going to pay off, right? So, but it's not just the people skills, right? We actually need to figure out, how do we make this work? I encourage you to talk to some of the vendors that are doing some of the AI work. John Sumner, the guy with the ponytail and the cool glasses, he talked about you got to have clean data and take baby steps. Think about 1 or 2 things at a time that you can automate for your managers. Because according to the Harvard Business Review, 78% of these managers actually trust the advice coming from intelligent systems, right? So again, it can augment their ability to, instead of constraining the workforce, we can empower and enable and engage them to reach their full potential. At the end of the day, I think that's what we're here to do, right? And if we do this well, that means all of you have an opportunity not to manage people, but to actually be leaders in your organization. Are you with me? That's all I got.
All right, Marcus, great job.